I am 85 years old, and I sit in this chair every single morning next to a window that looks out onto a garden she planted with her own hands. The roses are still there. She is not. And the cruelest part, she didn't leave because she stopped caring. She left because I never let her feel like I did. Her name was Layla. She was not a complicated woman. She didn't need diamonds. She didn't need grand gestures. She needed one thing, one simple, devastating thing. She needed to feel like she mattered to me, and I, a proud, busy, stubborn man, made her spend 53 years wondering if she did. We met in the autumn of 1962. I was 24. She was 21. She laughed at something I said at a bus stop. I don't even remember what it was. And that laugh rewired something inside me. I asked her name. She told me. And then she looked at me in a way that no one had ever looked at me before, like I was worth something. We married 2 years later. Her father held her hand too long before letting go, the way fathers do when they know they're handing their daughter to an uncertain world. I stood at that altar thinking, I will never let anything hurt her. I meant it. God help me, I meant it with everything I had. But meaning something and showing something, those are two entirely different languages, and I only ever learned one of them. The first years were full. We were poor, but we were alive. She would cook with the radio on. She'd hum along to songs I pretended not to like. I'd sit at the table pretending to read the newspaper, but really I was watching her. She was so present in every room she entered. Then work happened, then the children, then the responsibilities that stack up like bricks until one day you realize you built a wall and the person you love most is standing on the other side of it. I told myself, this is what men do. We provide, we protect, we keep moving. What no one told me was that provision without presence is just loneliness with a roof over it. She tried to tell me, not with arguments. Layla wasn't that kind of woman. She told me with the small things. The way she stopped reaching for my hand when we walked. The way dinner became quieter. The way she started reading alone in the bedroom instead of beside me on the couch, I noticed. But I told myself, she's fine. Tomorrow I'll ask her how she is. Tomorrow became the most expensive word in my vocabulary. I spent 50 years paying for it. One evening, I came home late again. She had kept dinner warm again. I sat down, barely looked up from a work folder. She sat across from me and said quietly, "Do you still find me interesting, Thomas?" I looked up and I laughed. Not a cruel laugh, a dismissive one. The kind that says, "What a strange question." I said, "Layla, don't be silly," and I went back to my folder. She nodded once, slowly, and she cleared the table without another word. I have replayed that moment 10,000 times because that was the night something in her eyes changed. Not dramatically, there was no storm, just a quiet light, the light that had been on for me since that bus stop in 1962, dimming just slightly, just enough. I was not a bad man. I never raised my voice at her. I never left. I provided everything a house could need, but she didn't need a provider. She needed a partner. She needed me to ask about her dreams, the ones she quietly buried when we had children. She had wanted to paint. Did you know that? She was gifted, truly gifted. I didn't know until our daughter told me at the funeral, because I never asked. 53 years beside this woman, and I never once sat down and said, Layla, what is it that you still want for yourself? Assumption is a thief. It steals intimacy while you sleep. She joined a painting class at the community center. I didn't ask to see what she made. She came home one evening with color on her hands, blue and ochre and a little red, and she was glowing like the 21-year-old at the bus stop. And I said, "You've got paint on your sleeve. You should soak that before it sets." She looked at me and something final passed across her face. Not anger, something worse. Acceptance. The acceptance of a woman who has finally made peace with the fact that the man she chose will never truly see her. She was diagnosed in the winter. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. The doctor spoke. I heard the words, but my brain refused to process them because the world without Layla in it was not a world I had any architecture for surviving. I drove home in silence. She sat in the passenger seat with her hands folded in her lap, and then she said something that will live inside my chest until the day I am buried. She said, "Thomas, don't feel guilty about the time. We had plenty of it. We just used it differently than I hoped, differently than she hoped. She had spent 50 years hoping I would wake up, hoping I would choose her, not the work, not the silence, but her. And in the gentlest sentence she ever spoke to me, she let me know that she had made peace with the fact that I never did." I pulled the car over and I wept, not politely, like a man who has just understood the size of what he wasted. She put her hand on mine. She comforted me. Even then, even at the end, she had 7 months, and I tried to become in 7 months what I should have been for 50 years. I asked her about her paintings. She showed me a notebook, 40 years of sketches she had kept hidden. I held her hand when we walked, but I could feel it, the difference between warmth and its memory. I wasn't getting her, I was getting the echo of a woman who had already quietly stopped waiting for me. She passed on a Tuesday morning in October. The roses in the garden were the last thing she saw, because she asked me to open the window, and I did. That much at least I did. I'm 85 years old, and I sit in this chair every morning, and I talk to her because she deserves the conversations I was too proud and too busy to give her when she was here. I told her last week that I finally looked at all her paintings. I told her she was extraordinary. I told her I was sorry. The garden doesn't answer back. And that silence, that beautiful, heartbreaking silence, is the price I pay every single morning. Now, you, the one watching this, listen to me. Not as a stranger on a screen, as a man who has walked to the end of the road and is looking back at every turn he missed. If you are young, 20, 30, 40, please hear me. The people who love you right now will not love you forever if you treat their love like a given. Love is not a given. Love is a garden, and gardens die when no one tends them. You think you are busy. You think there is time. They understand more than you know, and they hurt more than they show. Put down your phone when she walks into the room. Ask him what he is afraid of, not how was your day. What do you still want? Do you feel known by me? These questions feel small. They are not small. They are the architecture of a life that doesn't end in regret. Do not wait until there is a diagnosis. Do not wait until they stop reaching for your hand. Do not wait until you are sitting beside a window talking to a garden. The person who loves you deserves your presence, not just your loyalty, your eyes, your attention, your time, because time is the only thing you are spending that you can never, ever earn back. Layla didn't stop loving me because she was weak. She stopped showing it because for 50 years I made her feel like it wasn't being received. Don't do what I did. Don't be the person at 85 who finally understands what love required when there is no one left to give it to. Her name was Layla. She deserved better, and she knew it. And she loved me anyway. That is the kind of love you don't let go of. That is the kind of love you fight to deserve every single day.